my point is activities must be within design is to not look at and try to force yourself to do an activity that feels life taking from you. It makes you feel less energy. Welcome back. In this next video, we're going to talk about, we're just going to move on. I'm just going to jump right into it, okay? So in making life fun, one of the things to bear in mind is that you can define the arena within categories of life or categories of your business. So, I have here listed like finance or chores or car or etc. So you can have different types of games, different types of ways to play within different categories, within different arenas of life and within your business. It's just easier for me to talk about life, so I'm just going to keep talking about life. So chores, finance, car, etc. So when I was years ago, when I was working at the movie theater, so a long time ago, and one of the things that we always had was we had our like checklist. So in between every set, we had our set checklist. So like always checking these things, and it became this game of like fill in the box, to make sure that you got your initials in to do the thing. It became almost like you had almost this desire to just fill in all the boxes as soon as you could so that you could complete the task, right? And you got your own little satisfaction from that. And it was like things like sweep the lobby, check the trash. If the trash needs to be taken out, take out the trash. Check the whatever else, like check the salts, whatever. Like it was, and there were different categories of who had different checklists based on who was working at what part of the theater. The people who were working the concession stand area, their checklist was things like check your stocks. Are you low on this candy? If you're low on any candy, then you got to go get it from the back. Are you low on popcorn tubs? Are you low on pop cups, right? So you got to check the stock for the items that you have, because you've got your station and you need to keep it well stocked, so that way when we get the next wave of people, that you can take care of them, right? And so the different departments had their own checklists, their own different categories of things to do. And then that was the game. Like, so if you're in the concession game, that's your game of like, how well can you run your concession area? If you're on the usher game, you're playing the game of like, how well can you run your usher area? So with the other categories of your life, how can you apply the same principle? So creating ways to make handling your finances fun, that you can have different games for that area, that category of life, than areas for shopping for cars or for finding a job that you like. Like, you can create micro games within the bigger game, which is how games like that happen all the time. There are puzzle games in a game, there's combat games, there's mini games, there are all kinds of different things. So you can pick, but the activities that you pick, they must be within your design. So this is where I'm going to try not to allude to this too much, but why it can sometimes be a hindrance to spend too much time on social media, because on social media you're seeing people do other activities, and then you think that you need to do those, but that's not necessarily true. So like that whole idea of fear of missing out. There's I don't remember the name of the spiritual teacher. He's like the Indian teacher. He talks about fear of missing out and how fear of missing out is not real. Because if you were meant to have that experience, you would have that experience. Nobody misses out on anything. You get exactly what you're ready to receive at that time. So if you're ready to take on a new activity, you will take on a new activity that is appropriate for you. So my point is, activities must be within design is to not look at and try to force yourself to do an activity that feels life taking from you. You know, it makes you feel less energy. If it makes you feel less energy, it's not good, right? But that's where, you know, it's life is always filled with, like, we all have responsibility. We always have to take on and do things that, you know, some of them are more exciting than others. But there are, it's, especially when it comes to your job, what your job is going to be things that you do often, right, and repetitively, okay? So it's important that you find activities within your job and find a way to structure your job that is taking advantage of your unique design, right? So it comes back to the previous video. People want to use their unique skill set and be recognized for their meaningful contribution to the whole, but with their uniqueness, right? And then with that, though, when people are able to be recognized for their uniqueness, they're better able to take ownership of results in order to feel motivated to improve. Because if it feels like people's, you know, so first what's necessary, it's necessary that people are able to take ownership of the results. And if you structure an environment where people can receive results immediately, you know, they receive that feedback immediately, they're rewarded immediately, they take ownership of the results, then they naturally want to improve because they want to, you know, it's the whole Pavlov's dog situation, right? If you reward the dog for doing the thing that you want it to do, then it'll do that thing more. And then and the best way, as they taught, is that once it first attributes that, like, okay, so sometimes when I do this thing, I'll get a reward, but you don't want to give it the reward all the time. You want to give it the reward some of the time, and then give it other reward some of the time. So like, if it was a treat, hit the bell, you get a treat. Hit the bell, you get a treat. Hit the bell, you get a treat. Hit the bell this time, you get a lot of pets. And hit the bell the next time, you get a treat. Hit the bell the next time, this time you get a lot of pets. Do it again, you get a lot of pets. Hit the bell again, now you get a treat. Hit the bell again, now you get a lot of pets. Hit the bell again, you get a treat. Hit the bell again, you get a treat. And so it's like about randomizing the reward system so that way people don't know exactly which reward they're going to get at what time, and they're feeling, but they know that if they're doing the thing right, they're more likely to get rewarded. And one of the rewards is recognition for their unique contribution to the whole, but given their uniqueness, given their unique personality, their unique strengths, their unique skills, right? And so then when people take ownership of their results, they feel motivated to improve, right? Because they want to get better only when they are able to take ownership of their contribution. If they are feeling recognized for their unique contribution, then they own their unique contribution. And then they're motivated to improve their contribution because they see that their contribution matters. Their contribution is unique. When they see that their contribution is unique, they're naturally going to want to improve as soon as they see that their contribution makes a meaningful difference for the whole. So you got to create that environment where people can be recognized and have fun for their unique contribution. All right. Okay. So yeah, but you can define the different ways to play within the different categories. Identify activities, so this is where people need to be able to chime in their personality, chime in their uniqueness of what would be fun for them. Let them contribute to the creation of the rules of the game. Let them contribute to the creation of the rules of the game. And they're more likely to take ownership of the results because they said that, hey, if I know that I like to do this, well, what if we did it like this? You know, we get earned points this way. And then it makes it, they're co-creating the experience at that point, right? Okay, so we're going to move on and we're going to expand on more relevant topics. So tune in.